Hi, I'm Ted from Everything Attachments, and we're today with our second version of our Extreme Duty box blade. We were making it in a Category 1 and a Category 2, and now we've converted it to just one model where it's both Category 1 and Category 2. Now, it will accept the quick hitch for Category 1 and Category 2. And the reason we're doing this, the first time we built a blade, even though this is a really heavy blade, and in today's standards, very few tractors that are Category 1 would pull this nice big heavy blade with all this area of how much it can drag and move in dirt, because you're going to have a lot of weight there. But in the old standards, and I come back from a teenager, I worked for my father and we sold new Ford tractors here, and there were Ford tractors up to 55 horsepower that were still a Category 1 that weighed 6,000 plus pounds. Now they're compact tractors as low as 40 horsepower that are coming out with Category 2, which really doesn't make sense, but it's what they're doing and I really can't control that. So we made this blade where if you've got an older tractor that's Category 1, this is the standard width. The Category 1 quick hitch will work. Right there's your top bushing. If you were using it without the quick hitch, you would use the pin above that. And we even put a hole up above here for the Category 2 and it being a little higher to get the geometry right. On all the blades, this tube is going to be 3/16, except for the 8-foot model, and it's 1/4 inch thick. The shanks are mounted behind here for strength, so we're not piercing this beam. This is a 3/8 sidewall box blade, and we'll show you the extra gusset that we've added on the other side. Some of the differences, too, between the Category 1 and the Category 2, the way we were building it. If you ordered a Category 1, it came pretty similar to this side of it. If you ordered a Category 2, it was still on the same size, which works fine on a Category 2 as long as you're not using a quick attach. This will work with a quick attach. We were also on a Category 2 because we were making this on a machine called a Whitney, which is a punch plasma. It'll plies up to 1 inch or 2 thick with no problem, but the punch, when you get to a certain size, like 1/2 inch material, it will only punch 1 inch. And a Category 2 pin is 1 1/8 inches. So we were punching 2 pieces of 3/8 and turning them in opposite directions. That's strong and good. Now that we're cutting everything with a laser, these are 1/2 inch and they're perfectly smooth. The laser leaves just a perfect finish. So we're able to do a lot more things now that we have our laser, save time and money, and make a better design. So we've changed a few things out on this. All of the Extreme Duty box blades are going to come with the Category 1, Category 2. We'll close out the ones we've got built now on eBay. We've started a special website. And just remember, this is December of 2012. We've got about 10 or 12 box blades. So if you're looking at this a year from now, they'll be gone. But for a short period of time, if you want to find this exact same blade at a discount price in either the Category 1 or the Category 2, same quality and everything of every component used, they'll be available on Everything Attachments prototype site. And that's where we sell our prototypes and some things that we change and discontinue. So this will be the second version. To start with, versus like the Woods box blade, we're using a thicker tube. We're using a much thicker plate back here. Instead of 3/16, we're using all 3/8, so it's twice as thick, twice as heavy. And we're using an Italian ripper shank here, or a non-Chinese ripper shank, that you can get a replacement point for. We're also using Vault cutting edges made in the USA. They're the best quality, and they just last a lot longer than a cheap cutting edge. It's not just where they come from, it's the quality of what you get. So at Everything Attachments, quality by design, quality is what we want to give you. And when we cut out the distributor, the dealers, the reps and all that, and go directly to you, then you get the most for your money. We keep our margins down. We do no paper advertising. We keep our expenses down where you get the best product for the money. We go ahead and put the quick hitch bushing in there, and that is the same spot for the Category 1 and the Category 2. Over here on the side, you've got a really wide area here. You're going to hold a lot of dirt. I hadn't done the exact calculation. So this box blade looks to me like it's going to hold about 1 yard. of dirt, and that would be without it piling in front of the rippers, which a lot of times it will do if you're in the right dirt, and you can even pull more. This has a brace in between here. This is your main wear area when you're trying to rip deep with the rippers up a little bit, or you're just trying to get all you can. These edges are what are constantly digging in the ground. So you've got a 3/8 main plate, another 3/8 plate, giving you 3/4 of an inch on the area that's the first place to disappear on a box blade after a lot of use. So we've done a lot of things to index parts on this to make it easy to assemble, to make it stronger. This is the main hitch plate, which has a 90-degree bend in here to keep it from skewing to the side. It penetrates through the back moldboard and is welded. It's braced across here, so it's braced for this 3/8 piece that's braced up here. It's solid as a rock. We've put the right bends in it to make the dirt from the inside roll in there. We've put the cutting edge on the right angle, and we are going to make box blades at some point that have a floating tailgate. But just so you know, they're not for everybody. You need to be pretty experienced to use a box blade with a flip up tailgate well. And what they do best is dig dirt, because if all you want to do is move this big pile of dirt down into this hole, then the tailgate will float up, will allow the front edge to dig as deep as your tractor can pull it, and then you control the pull with your tractor. But you have very little control on landscaping and keeping things flat, because it's all about your hand, not about the box blade on there. So you've got one edge on the front, one edge on the back. So when you tilt your top link, these edges change. So when you can set it to where you're taking about 3/4 of an inch, and your back blade is kind of like a gauge wheel. It won't let that front edge dig in. If you look at a saw blade that's on a circular saw, in between the teeth, you'll notice there is a piece of metal, and that's called the gauge. And without that gauge, it would cut into the wood so fast that it would just bog the saw down and kick it out. So that's kind of the same deal with this. This is kind of like your back gauge. So when you're cutting through the dirt, the back of your cutting edge is controlling the front edge from being able to just dip and make it to where it's hard for you to make it smooth. So in most cases, I really prefer a rigid back tailgate. If I want it to dig very aggressively, I'm simply going to shorten my top link, pitch that front of that blade down, make the rippers dig deep, and I can still get about that much cut. And at that much cut, that's probably more than most tractors will pull, and it's going to fill that box blade really quick. So we are going to make the other, but this is what should be bought 85% of the time. We try to put an automotive finish on these. We do use automotive paint. Our new paint booth is up going at the factory now, so we can quick dry it. Everything is starting to really get together good. Our factory's been up maybe 9 months now. We got our laser in. Everything's really starting to work good at everything attachments. We've got most of the first line of equipment drawn for the 3-point hitch stuff, and we just keep going back and making things better and better. That's why this is our second version. And I really like that. These are kind of expensive, but I really like these 2-step pins. So you've got a category 1 and a category 2 there, and it bottoms out right here into the category 2 position where it can't go in but that far. Fits perfectly. I love the way that the rippers are behind this main beam and don't pierce it for strength. I think this is the best box blade on the market for the money. Similar box blades I've looked at lately are in the $1,700 to $2,500 range, and that's on the wholesale end. They retail for in the $3,200 to $3,500 range. That we're pricing this at about the price that, say, a dealer for woods or something would be paying for it before it even leaves the factory, or he pays freight, and that would be if he's on the maximum discount. So we do everything we can to give you the best product at the best price. If you've got any questions about the size of your tractor and what box blade you should buy, because we have 4 different models and 8 different lengths, just give us a call or an email, and we'll be happy to help you at Everything Attachments.